Just tell them I got no niche. Please don't speak if you
Okay,
don't
yeah,
know
okay.
me.
I need to make sure I don't hit this.
I know I keep looking at myself to make sure we're good. Okay, what's going on? My name is Cole Connor, and today on the No Niche podcast, this is like episode 2. I am here with my occasional, never pressured, whenever she wants to be, co-guest / co-host. Maybe, I don't know. We're figuring that out.
Reoccurring guest.
Reoccurring guest.
Yeah.
Ngoc-Linh Dang, everyone. Applause. Ngoc-Linh Dang is a 28-year-old junior architectural designer here in Los Angeles, California. And yeah, she lives with me. Not only does she live with me, she's my girlfriend. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Quite the introduction there. Looked
I practiced that
pretty
a lot.
pretty decorated bio.
Yeah, that's you're a pretty cool chick.
Thanks.
I'm starting to get hot. Really hot. I feel like the AC was a good move. So, honestly, I've been wanting to do this podcast for a long time. Been wanting to get it cranked back up, and I've talked to you. I didn't want to like pressure you to do stuff with me, but I do really enjoy talking to you, and obviously we talk a lot, and you're kind of here on my little journey with me, and we're journeying together. And yeah, I think it's really cool that you have the galls to be here and speak in front of a camera. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, let's not bring up the camera anymore, because then it's just gonna make me nervous.
I can't believe how strong you are. I'm sorry. But we did come to the table where we did just want to have a discussion about something in particular. Because the first podcast I did, which hopefully is out, it was a little rough, and she heard the full cut, and it was just kind of tough doing it alone. And I didn't really have a topic, and I was just kind of talking. But today we're going to talk about something specific. But before that, I think we should just talk about how we feel. So I want to know, Ngoc-Linh, how are you feeling?
Good. I feel like the top of my list of feelings lately have just been good. I am happy
That's amazing.
to be here in Los Angeles. We're going to be hitting our 1-year mark this week. So
This week.
yeah,
That's crazy.
It's actually kind of a big deal. So
Yeah.
so we're here, came here. We kind of pre-planned, but didn't have everything laid out. Just kind of a lot of reflecting
Yes.
lately, but yeah, we didn't have anything figured out, but you know, we have a good apartment. We don't have a lot of friends. That's okay though, because we still have a handful of people we talk to, and
I think we're getting there.
yeah, we're getting there,
We really
which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
But mainly it's just kind of like we sort of have a loose routine, weekly and daily.
That's true.
I have a job that's been great. Also stressful.
You have
We'll
a
get
lot of
into that.
responsibilities.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, just learned a lot of new things when it comes to my new job, living on my own for the first time, living in a new city, having a handful of new responsibilities to take on now that I don't live with my family. So
I'm glad you kind of got into that a little bit, because I was talking about in the last episode a little bit about how I was feeling about Los Angeles in general, like after a year. And yeah, not only, of course, like people on this channel, they know kind of more of my journey, but that was a big deal for you to take that step and for the first time move out of your hometown. I'm really proud of you, honestly. Yeah, I haven't known you more than 2 years, but I'm so proud of you making that decision, because it's hard.
it is. Yeah. I mean, as you know, right before I met you, I had just graduated from college, and I was planning on moving away to Portland. That was where I was thinking about going to school. So, of course, that was my guiding direction, and was gonna do it in August of 2020.
Of 2020,
then,
okay.
Yeah, and then just didn't. Just chickened out. And
So what was your reasoning? Like, what was in your head when you were talking that out?
just that it seemed impractical. Just like how and I didn't have any more reason to move to Los Angeles. I just, told myself that, like, I have it good here. I have family in Savannah. I have family who is there for me. I had a job. I had friends. I had just everything that I could possibly want and need. I was looking to buy a new house. And so I just didn't have... I couldn't think of a good reason to go, or like a logical reason to go. But
to go to Oregon.
To move away.
Got
to
it.
move away in general.
Got it.
Away
Okay.
from my comfort zone.
Because everything was like good.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, what ended up being what made the most sense for me was to just get away. And it doesn't matter about, like, if I'm doing the right moves, taking the right steps that I've always been told to do.
Just step outside of that.
Yeah, follow your heart.
Yeah, and I'm clearing this up now and forever. It wasn't even my idea to make this happen. It really was yours.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And I know the part that was my idea was, I was like, I mean, Los Angeles, I still do want to go to Los Angeles. But I was actually really like, I was ready to, like, okay, Beaufort's where it's at. I'm about to stay in Beaufort. I'm about to keep building this business 2, 3, 4 years. I don't fucking know anymore. And when you said that, I just got, I tried not to show it. I'm sure you felt it, but I was so excited. I was like,
But when
you brought it up initially, I think I remember keeping my cool about it and just being like, we can move wherever. But when we landed on Los Angeles, and I was like, I can't believe, like, this is actually going to happen. Like, holy shit. And we had met not that long before, or like a year or so, but it's really not that long to be moving across country.
Right. And I mean, this is kind of just getting too far into it, but, like, we told each other, we said from the beginning that we're going for our individual selves.
Yes.
We're not like going, of course we're going together, but, like, if tomorrow you and I break up, I still have a reason to be here. You still have a reason to be here.
100%.
Yeah. So I think that, making it like just two parallel but separate journeys coming here, like, that's why it worked
I think
out
so too.
well.
Like, internally, it made us feel like this is good. Like, we both want this separately and together. It's worked out. So that's good. We have learned a lot about each other, though, as we've been here. I mean, it's weird to think. I think everyone probably, if you're going through a relationship, or if you're in a relationship, you're like, wow, I can't believe we knew each other 5 years ago, like today or whatever. But it's weird to think when we first moved here, I felt like, now I'm like, wow, do we even know each other very well?
Yeah.
Because I've learned so much about you in every way possible now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And I was, like, trying to tell you that there are going to be a lot of things that we're going to learn about one another, because we were living together. I was staying at your apartment. But we weren't sharing any responsibilities. We weren't really living with each other, like seeing each other most of the time throughout the week. It would just be like a few hours at night, and then
because she had a full-time job, and I haven't had a full-time job, but she pretty much was busy, and she lived or she worked an hour away. And so even though she was staying with me pretty much every night, it just wasn't that much time. And it was like my place. It wasn't like your place too.
It wasn't our place.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Our place.
Yeah. So expected, we both have been in long-term serious relationships before, so, like, just expecting that there are going to be some things we're learning new, like, about one another.
Best thing you learned about me.
The best thing?
Yeah, not the worst. The best.
I'm thinking of the worst.
Yeah, that's the first thing.
Okay, the best thing, I feel like you and I have, like, the same amount of energy and laziness. Like, and like our social anxieties are kind of the same.
I agree.
Yeah,
Very
or like
similar.
our social battery is kind of the same, you know? Like we seem to be on the same wavelengths there.
agree.
Like I would consider myself a homebody, but I also like to go out and do things, get out of the house, and then just for a few hours, and then, you know, like
Then
we're
come
ready to
back.
go home.
Yeah.
And we seem to always be on the same page about that.
That is a really good thing. I think it's a very underestimated thing to be on the same page about.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's really important. Okay. Worst thing. Go for it.
The worst thing?
Yeah. Or, you know, it ain't, if it's too bad, you don't have to say it. You know, just like annoying thing.
Okay. This is gonna sound like the opposite of what I just said.
Oh, okay.
But like when we want attention versus when we don't want attention. I don't know. Okay, I don't know if that's the worst thing, but that's like the thing that comes to my mind thinking about us living together is, and mostly working from home together, because we didn't before.
Yeah.
Is that when I want to sit down, concentrate on work.
And I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't, like, you want to, you know, like talk or like cuddle for a second, you know, like it's hard to get on the same page, but that's with anyone, like
think so,
any two different people, like,
Ollie, hello. He has a snaggle tooth right now.
I know, he's so silly.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, and then
That's
the same thing
difficult.
with me, like, yeah, okay, I sat down and worked for a solid 4 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes,
have to get
and
into
then I, you know, like, then I want attention from you, but you have already had your break and you're ready to just work.
Yeah, I think what we've learned a lot about that is we communicate pretty well as far as like that stuff goes.
Am I blocking him? Oh my god. That has been in the shot the entire time.
That's fine. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's a good catch.
Yeah. I was like, where's Ollie? That's not my leg.
It's okay. Anyways, I think that's a lot of couples deal with that. And yeah, this thing you have to work through. So do you want to hear your best thing or your worst thing? Mm-hmm. Best thing. Oh, it's so easy not to copy what you just said now. I'm going to go best thing. God, I think I have to copy you about the best thing. I think that really is
so
good. But it's temperament all the way around. We both have like spurts of energy, which, let's just say it's a weekend. It's not a work day.
Yeah.
It matches pretty well. And yeah, I think what I know, I think you're starting, you know me. So like, you know, I like to work in the morning. I like to get stuff done at certain times. And you appreciate that, and you'll do your own thing. Maybe that's what it is. You might not be going out and doing your own thing, because we talk about that, how it's hard for her to go out alone sometimes. But when I'm working, I feel like you do a pretty good job of not bothering me, versus I might bother you more when you're working, for sure. And then worst thing, I'm gonna go with, this is a classic male-female thing, I feel like. Or masculine feminine energy thing, I don't know, the dishes and cleaning. And it's like, when you want things clean, you want it clean, and I'm kind of like that too in some ways, but you're definitely more, what's the word, you're not really like OCD about it, but there's just certain things. Go ahead.
No. Yeah. I'm not the cleanest person, but yeah,
there's
like
certain things that you like.
Yeah.
Can I do this way? Foot? No, it's weird. Yeah, foot's too big.
He was like showing off his little butthole the entire time you were talking.
Ollie. He's
Ollie.
a SLUT for attention.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yes.
Sorry.
No. It's
Ollie's being distracting.
no.
Here he comes. Oof, on the mic. It's okay. He can have his little segment. He's trying to get to me, you know that.
I know. Jeez.
Yeah, so I pretty much want to know, how are you feeling about just living in LA in general?
in general.
So less about like, I guess, our personal lives and more just like, how do you feel about the city and being in this city?
Well, I love how big it is.
Yeah.
I love how different it is. It reminds me a lot of Atlanta, where it's just, I mean, every big city is like this, but they just have like their own little pockets, and everyone, you know, kind of has like really like cool styles. And like, when I say cool, I mean it's just different. Like, it's not always like the same thing that you see everywhere.
I feel like almost everyone here, especially where we live, is cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like one way or another, they're cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we moved here hopefully to be as cool.
Yeah. I mean,
But
okay.
being around like different designers, you know, and like there's definitely an LA style here that I get to be a part of. I get to learn about that was so different from what I was doing back in Savannah.
So different.
Yeah. Like, not only was it just I was at a different level in my career, but also like the kinds of things that we were that we were producing, like the firm versus here.
Like Southern Homes versus.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you've worked on. I don't know what you can say, but yeah, you've worked on a lot of different things, which is awesome.
Yeah. But it's just like, even like residential is a big thing, you know, like just the personal style of everyone. And of course, like in Savannah, it's beautiful. It's great.
Yeah.
But like, it's so different from what you get to see here.
Yeah.
Not that you wouldn't see here, but we have so many different clients with different tastes, and like have like, you know, their own direction, what they want their home to look like. And it's really cool to see something outside of
like Savannah or Beaufort. I know that just bouncing off of that, me shooting houses.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I mean, it's just been so different.
Yeah.
I've been shooting $1 million homes over and over again, and a lot of them are actually similar, which is funny, but yeah, it's just way cooler, more fun. So I imagine it's the same thing translated to you. Yeah. And on top of that, you were saying earlier a little bit about the stuff to do, just the fact that the mountains and the ocean and everything is all like right here. I think it's so cool. So cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I feel like now we should jump into.
But I found these results on search.
I wonder what it searched.
I don't know.
I feel like now we should talk about kind of what we were discussing earlier. Today we were really thinking about college. Is that right? What more specifically?
So this is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That the No Niche podcast, like we would just talk about, the whole point of that, no niche to you. Yeah, no niche to you is the fact that you are not a one-trick pony.
Yes.
You know, you do a lot of different things. You want to do a lot of different things. And for the most part, obviously with respect to those you've learned from and everything, but for the most part, you did yourself, or like, you know, you didn't go the traditional route, which
what
is...
what a great way to say that. That was so good, as far as everyone's like, I did it myself. But with respect to all the people who taught me a million things along the way. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean...
Continue.
Can't expect to learn it all yourself. Some people do, just because we have the internet. Like, you know, you need guidance.
Yeah, or they say they do. That's my point. But there's usually always people who have helped them along the way.
Definitely. But even people just supporting you.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
Sorry, I distracted you. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. How when we are choosing what we want to do with our lives, it's really pertaining to your career. And what if you and I, as millennials, have been told to do, like growing up? Go to college.
Yeah.
Go to college. Choose a well-paid career, or at least a consistent one. You know, like
Mine
job
was
security.
Always doctor or lawyer. That's just what my dad said. I want to go be a doctor. I'm going to go be a lawyer.
Your dad said that?
Yeah,
Really?
100%. Did yours?
I mean, they said like, oh yeah, like become a doctor or a lawyer, like that's the way to go. Like, don't struggle like me. But I think my parents were just more of like, get an education, go to college.
Yeah,
You know, they pushed that, but they didn't really like pressure me to shoot for like those higher level careers.
I guess mine wasn't really pressure. It was more like to go to college, but he would always, my dad particularly would always say, be a doctor or lawyer, it pays really well. But he never was like some parents, I feel like, no, we're going to get you in this degree and you're going to do this in medicine and this and that. It wasn't really like that.
Yeah. I definitely would have hated that. But also just the fact that I was pressured to go to college, that was a lot for me.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have a problem going to college. Like, I do love education. I do love learning. However, I was just told that, okay, ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be an artist. I knew I wanted to do something in the creative field. But I've been told, like, since I was a child, I remember like that soul crushing, like conversation that I would have with the adults in my life that, you know, like, you don't go to school for art.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to make any money. You're going to be starving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, you know, it was like, fine, whatever. Like, it, you know, it hurt, but it's like, all right, whatever. You know, you just go on with your life. And then, you know, you're in high school and you have to choose you have to apply for colleges. You have to choose
it's like so fast. It
a major.
So fast.
Yeah. Like a direction, you know, like they're making you like kids, like sophomores, begin to know
what the fuck I want to do.
I know, like, you're like 15 years old and you're supposed to choose something that you're gonna do for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and then like also expect, I guess, the trajectory of how far you'll go, and like, is this really going to be something that is secure?
Yeah.
You know, with how
the way it's changed now, we don't fucking know.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know. It's changed so fast. What if it is secure now, but will it be secure?
I mean, things are changing like at a much faster pace, that people who are going into the kind of like engineering, I'm just saying it for example, like a lot of software engineering that they do now might not be as relevant like 20 years from now.
Yeah, it's true.
But I mean,
who knows? But anyways, with you particularly, how was your journey? So, okay, we both of us at a young age, our parents were like, yo, you should get an education, first of all, and I think most millennials' parents were like that because their parents, because maybe their parents didn't do that, but then they saw how important it was in their time, and so they were like, oh, we need to make sure our kids are successful. So that happened to, or you want to say something on that?
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, 100%, like, we are just kind of, we are the trauma of our parents' generation.
100? Like,
as in our parents, our grandparents probably told our parents, like, you just need to work, right? I mean, I don't know how it is with just American families, but like with immigrant families, like, my parents immigrated over here to the US, and so they know just to like work. Of course, like, go to college is an option, but not that prevalent. So they just worked. And so my parents, sorry, now I'm speaking specifically about my family, but like, my parents, they're hard workers. They worked as like service workers, and they had to work multiple jobs. They had to work really hard. They didn't have the money to show for it either. And so when they had me and my sister, what they tried to make sure that we do, so we don't suffer or we don't have to work as hard as them, is get an education, go to college, find a career that is secure and pays well so that you can retire. My parents are almost 60. I mean, they're like mid-50s.
Yeah. Mine too.
They don't
still work.
Yeah, they don't have a retirement plan. They don't think that they're going to be able to retire soon.
Yeah.
So, they want to make sure that my sister and I kind of go a different route than them so that we can retire by the time we're their age and not have
that
to
would be
struggle,
ideal.
not have to
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah. And so to them, and just like my parents, it was the education route. And so what happened for both of us, or we both went to school at 18, or college, correct? But we did different things. But we kind of did the same thing at first.
At first, yeah.
Yeah, I went to Clemson, and then when I was 19, sophomore year, I was just like obsessed with music, and I couldn't think about anything else. It was I started making music friends, and then the people I had met initially were all about graduating and frats and shit, and I just was like, I can't do another day of it. And I literally dropped out of Clemson with like 3 exams left to take in December of my sophomore year, like an idiot. And I tried to go back to school, or I did go back to these small schools like I think USC Aiken, USC Sumter, and I even enrolled at USC Columbia, but I dropped out of like every single one. And yeah, it was really dumb of me to do that.
Is it though? Like, okay, let me just ask you this. Let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
Why, when you dropped out, okay, you made the decision to drop out probably because you had something else that is pulling your attention and
Yes.
drawing your attention, and like you wanted to put work into, and you couldn't, like separate the time.
I couldn't focus on school. I was doing all right, but I just felt like I couldn't focus.
Right. So you're just you made a decision to.
Which, by the way, was, at the time, the hardest decision I had ever made, to let everyone down. I was the golden child, golden boy, which I'm sure you were too in your own way. And everyone was like, I don't know, I just felt like I had the pressure of the whole family on my shoulders. And I couldn't do it. So it's tough. Go ahead.
Well, I definitely didn't have that kind of pressure. I feel like, yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
It's
Everyone, it was kind of like, like evenly distributed, equally distributed.
Yeah.
Pressure. With my family, it wasn't just me and my sister; it was also my cousins.
All your cousins had that same pressure.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
cool.
Anyway, what I was trying to get to
Yes.
was that why did you choose to go back to school? And then like it's all these small schools.
That's
like
the dumb part. I think I'm agreeing with you where you're getting at. I did it for other people because I thought, well, I guess maybe I was scared a little bit too. Let's just be real. I was scared that maybe I should do that. But I would say mostly I tried to go back for other people. But then when I did USC Columbia, that was when I was right when I had started my business, which was when I was 23, and I was going to go back for photography. And I was like, maybe I'll go back this time and I'll try something artistic.
Yeah.
And then I just remember, and I probably told you this, but I was in class and it was the first freaking like day or two. And there was this like 18-year-old kid and I was 23. So I'm like older. And you probably connect with this.
Yeah.
And he looked at me. He was like, pss, pss, pss. And I was like, what? I'm trying to focus like that. And he was like, pss, pss. And he made one joke to me and I like smiled. Then 5 minutes later he started making jokes to me throughout the whole class. I was supposed to laugh at him the whole time, like he's laughing loud in front of the teacher, and it just showed me like how immature these people were. And not everyone was like that, but that was enough, and I quit 2 weeks in. And I never went back.
Yeah. But it's really funny. Like, I feel like, because when we talked about this before, where our paths kind of just like, like deviated was when I decided to go back to college and then I decided to go back to college and you didn't. Because
you went back 23 or 22?
I think I was 22, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was 22, but I was like smiling and laughing because you went back to school because you were scared. And the pressure. Yes. I did that too. Okay. Like, at 22? At 22. Okay. Like, I was working as a server and I was, like living with my boyfriend at the time. Like, I had my own apartment, but I wasn't really like on my own. And then I had I quit my job suddenly. And then I had to kind of think about what do I want to do for the rest of my
What's
life?
next?
Yeah, and then constantly like hearing like, that I made the wrong decision by dropping out, so like I should go back to school. I feel like that was the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, like I just felt like I had to keep doing things that were the right thing to do to kind of like redeem myself. So that's why I went
4 years of failure.
Yeah, that's why I went back to school, was because of fear, and also trying to please people, like making up for, I'm sorry, mom and dad, that I dropped out.
Yeah.
Like I am gonna go back to school now.
Yeah.
And then also like, okay, so what am I gonna do now? Like, what am I gonna go back to school for? Because when I initially went to school,
great
it was
question.
well, when I initially went to school, it was something that I didn't want to do, which is
What was it?
education.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't know that, or forgot that.
Yeah, early
Interesting.
childhood education. Like, well, I was undecided for the longest time, and then like sophomore year, I had to start deciding because like I was going through all of my mandatory like classes, and I had to sort of choose a path and niche down. I guess, I don't know, choose a path and just start going that way. I was like, well, people always told me, like, you know, if you're going to go for art, like maybe be an art teacher or something. Because that's still something that was stable and secure.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And so I went, started taking early childhood education classes. They sucked. And then I also dropped out like right before finals.
Really?
But
This was at 22?
No, this is when I was...
Oh, it was the first time.
Yeah,
Okay.
the first time. Yeah, I was 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So same thing with
Yeah.
you. Like I dropped out like right before finals, and I didn't even drop out the right way. I just stopped going to class.
That's what I did. That's just
Oh,
terrible. I
yeah.
wonder how common that is. We didn't look up our stats, but still. I bet that's common. If people are just like, you're like, and you just like, no, I quit.
Yeah, it's kind of just like imploding a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And self-sabotage.
Yeah, and all that money.
Yeah. Like
about
I did go to a local school, but like it was just I had scholarships and everything from high school. Then I just lost all of that and then just quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of just a quick note. I think this is another conversation, but talking about how easy it is to get in so much debt. I'm still like $30,000 in debt, I think, from Clemson. And it just felt so easy. I don't know. I don't even know what was happening. It's just like, I have to do this in order to get into Clemson. I have to do this. So I'm like signing all these paperworks. And I think I did like a Parent Plus loan where your parent co-signs too. It's another $10,000, $20,000. And you're just kind of, because you just want to make sure you go to school. Now all of a sudden.
Yeah, and it falls on you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It falls on you.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. The government makes it so easy or did. I don't know how it is now, but that's how it was 10 years ago, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we both dropped out at 19, and what we want to get to this point where we kind of, I guess, did separate things. So at 22, you're going back to school, and what did you land on, and how did you land on it?
When I went back to school, I still was undecided, and then when I had to go to choose a major, what did I do? I chose something that I did not want to do again.
Yeah.
And I had an advisor at that time, and she was great, and she was just real with me. And I told her I wanted to go for radiology because that was just like an easy medical thing, you know.
Okay.
Easy. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying like
In your brain.
it's not like as demanding as like being a doctor, like having to be there and like all the time, whatever. It's usually not an emergency. Yeah. Anyway, or dentist is another thing that was something in my family that had mentioned, like, yeah, you can go to the medical field and just go be a dentist, or just be a radiologist. It's a lot of work, but it's like it's taking out the emergency part of it. Anyway. And then I remember she said to me, she was like, are you serious? Like, Ngoc-Linh, like, be honest. Like, I just feel like if you choose radiology, then you're just going to drop out again. Like, just
Smart.
really
Glad
ask.
she said
yeah,
that.
like, really
Gee.
ask yourself, what do you want to go to school for? Why are you here? And I was like, or she was like, actually, no, like, don't think about what you want to go to school for. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
And I told her, like, you know, I want to be a tattoo artist. I want to be an artist. I just want to be an artist. I just want to be in the creative field. I want to create things. And yeah. And she's like, why don't you go for visual arts? Because the school that I had, they didn't have that big of an art department.
SCAD?
No.
Different school.
It was a different school. It was Armstrong.
Wait, so you did 2 years at Armstrong, then you did 2 at SCAD? Is that right?
3 at SCAD.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so
Armstrong was a local-ish school, and they did not have a strong arts program.
no, it was mainly engineering and nursing.
Okay.
And now it's, you know, just like it's been absorbed by Georgia Southern. So it's just like its own like small campus of that school. But yeah, so I went for visual arts because they offer that, just the general visual arts, fine arts, whatever. And I started taking art classes and I loved it. It was great. I was learning a lot, but it wasn't challenging enough.
Yeah.
But what was great about that at that time was I was doing something that I enjoyed, you know?
That's
and
amazing.
Like, yeah. And then like I still had academic classes, which I loved, but like I loved having the mix of the two. And I remember one of the classes I had to take was an art history class.
Okay.
And one of the main topics we talked about was architecture. And I'd never really knew anything about architecture before that class.
Yeah.
You know, like I really loved like houses. And like when my parents were looking for a new house, like we would go and like what is it called?
Tours?
Yeah, like the
Open houses
and the tours and stuff.
Yeah.
And I loved that when I was a kid. That was like my extent of architecture that I liked and loved, whatever. It's just real estate, really.
Yeah.
But when I was at Armstrong and I was like in the visual arts, you know, world, I really liked the balance of something that was more structured, something that was more technical, like with something that was still creative. And and so I
love that.
I picked that up a lot, like with that art history class. I had to take 2 of those classes, and
so that gave you like a little bit of hope, like I can still be an artist but also make money and be
exactly
stable. Yeah.
Exactly. And I knew
That's
my parents would love it.
Yeah.
You know, like when I told my dad, he was like, oh yeah. Since then he just kept saying like, my daughter's gonna be an architect, my daughter's gonna be an architect.
I mean, that's one of those, it's kind of like a doctor, a lawyer. People don't say it as much, but I mean, it's a pretty successful thing to be.
Yeah.
If you know.
Oh no.
Do your own thing or whatever.
It is. I mean, it is part of a pretty big part of our society, right?
Yeah,
you know, like
huge.
But not the stuff that, or what's respected actually is not what is like what we go to school for, what we want to do.
Yeah.
You know, if that makes sense. Like,
I think so.
Like,
yeah.
We'll talk about this more, but like,
yeah.
What I loved about architecture is designing, and I love creating spaces and thinking about like.
We should save that one for another episode. I think.
Yeah, more thought-provoking things, like that's what you learn in school. But what's respected in the field outside of that is just building, like, or designing whatever, building like pretty, you know, like extravagant buildings for rich people or to cater to,
but that doesn't happen all
corporations,
the time,
businesses, whatever. So anyway, we'll talk about that another time to do.
I think maybe that's kind of the direction it should go. So it's kind of interesting, and you know, it's fine if it's kind of conceptual what we're saying or whatever. It doesn't quite make all the way sense, but I thought by going a different direction, that would be like the right thing for me. And like maybe I'm an example of what you thought, because you probably went to school, but you were also probably thinking, I should probably just quit school and be an artist, but you never You went back and you finished and you stuck it out. And so it's kind of like it's like grass is always greener, but we're in the same place. Similar.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of interesting. I don't know. But because I'm not doing what I want to do all the way, but I am on my way to doing it slowly. But the bottom line is we have to make money, and you are in the same boat. Kind of, you're not doing everything you want to do, but you do have a stable income and you have a skill that can always make you money, that's a really important thing, is that we both have a high income skill. Yours is, I think, going to be really high as you keep learning and growing, but you still have that inner thing where you want to be a tattoo artist and you want to be an artist in general. I don't know. That's just it's interesting to think about. It's kind of like, no matter what, you do have to have money producing skills.
Right.
If you want to live comfortably.
Right. So then, doesn't that make you think that, like, to anyone who is in high school, I don't even have to be, but like thinking about going to college, thinking about going to school, like, or choosing a career, like, just do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, if what you want to do requires you to go to school, then go to school and, like, you know, do the best you can, graduate so that you can start doing what it is you want to do. But if something you want to do does not require school and you don't think that you need to go to school for it, you can learn like from just field experience.
Great.
Do that.
That I think is the point. I think that's the point, is when it comes to education, or we're talking about college level education, it's really all about what you want to do. Whatever you need to do to reach that. I have a cousin who, I can't remember exactly what it is because I always fucking forget it. I've asked him like 4 times. Something to do with city and water and stuff like that. But anyways, he just had to do a little bit of school and get like a certificate or something, and he can do it. Great. If you want to be
like plumbing?
No, it's not. I'm embarrassed. I can't remember exactly what it is. He needed to go to a little bit more school, so he went and did that. If you're a real estate agent, you have to pass the real estate exam. So that's something that you need to do. You don't have to go to college, but you have to do that. If you want to be an architect, you have to go to school. And for me, I just took this route of like, I just didn't really know how to make money, and I just didn't want to go to school. I couldn't focus on it, so I had to learn. I feel like I learned the hard way for some reason. I don't know. I just feel like tried so many different things, and I landed on real estate photography. But you don't have to go to school for that. You just learn on YouTube or take a course. The link in the description if you really want to check something out for free. You can learn a couple things. But yeah, you don't have to go to school, but it can be great. So I don't think, if you are a young person or an old person, you don't need to feel that pressure. It's just about whatever you want to do. Do that.
Just do it and just give your best effort. Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know how many times I've had this conversation with people that in my life that say they want to do something, but then they don't put 100% of their effort into it.
Seen that.
And that's fine, because then I'm asking the same question that my advisor asked me. Is this something you really want to do?
Yeah.
Is this something you really want to do? Because if it is, then you will want to put your, you want to do your best with it. And if not, then why are you doing this? Like, is it someone else telling you to do it? Or you've put that in your head that you need to, excuse me.
It's okay.
Excuse me. Is it something that you put in your head that you have to finish, you have to do?
Yeah. Here's what I'm asking. How do you feel about going back to school and finishing and then becoming this professional? And then I'll answer the same thing as someone who didn't finish.
I definitely feel like it was the right choice for me. I could probably give you a different answer if I was 18 years old again and actually put the same effort into becoming a tattoo artist, right? I think that as long as I had chosen something, developed a skill at, like at that age, and that's the career I go with, I'm happy with that decision.
Yeah.
Because one of the best things about my decision is that I chose a profession I didn't think that I would choose. I was literally testing it out, like it was a lot of money and effort to test out, but I was testing it out and I ended up loving it. And of course, the professional field is different from school. They're two completely different realms. Maybe that's something we can talk about.
It is. We need to write that down too.
They're two completely different things, but I do love it.
Yeah.
But there's still a part in my heart that like yearns for something I've always wanted to do, which is like be an artist, like an illustrative kind of like artist, and tattoos was the medium I was really wanting to use, but I got like scared out of it. I don't know, like
do you
with
feel like
myself.
it's over, or do you feel like it's possible?
It's not over. It's just harder. It's harder now that you are older and have to work. Work and also learn. Like it's kind of like that would be like working a full-time job and also going to school full-time.
Yeah.
Like if I were to do an apprenticeship, it's not just like, oh yeah, I would just pop in whenever and like just learn here and there, clean up the shop, whatever. It's, it's basically a full-time job too, just like going to school. It's going to take a lot of time. You have to learn, you have to put a lot of effort into it, and it's possible, but it's hard. So if I were to do it again, 100%, I would have pursued a tattoo apprenticeship at 18 years old.
And so maybe that 4 years, 18 to 22, that's what you would do. And then I would probably assume you wouldn't go to school at that point. But so you're not saying that you regret your decision. You're just saying that you wish maybe in that in-between time, 18 to 22, you would have seen what that road was like.
Yeah.
I would say, I'm going to challenge back a little bit and say, I personally am kind of a believer that things happen for a reason. I don't know what the reason is, but I think that, but besides the what ifs, like maybe you weren't ready, stuff like that. Because that's like hoopla stuff. I think that now we think that we're old in our heads sometimes, I think, but we're not at all. If you think about it, like we have a whole decade still before we're 40. But
that's when life's over.
yeah. But no, we have like, I'm trying to think about it, like I have what is this next decade? And you're talking about you for 1 second. You're sitting with a stable job that's only going to go up. Your time, you're going to be busy. You're going to be more in control of it, so you can be as busy as you want eventually as you get to a certain point. And you're going to have more money and ability to invest in things. Like we were talking about getting a tattoo thing, or whatever, what it's called, a tattoo machine, or whatever. You could take classes. You're just going to be in such a different position versus, I don't know what it would have been like if you were a tattoo artist at 18. Maybe you would have just shot to stardom. Who knows? But I thought I was going to be a famous rapper at 18, and I pursued it really fucking hard, and I didn't go to stardom. So what if you would have done all that, and then at 26 you would have been like, I don't have shit, and I'm broke as fuck, and I thought I was gonna be a famous artist, and now I don't have a degree, and I don't have anything. But now you're in Los Angeles, you're building a real dope ass career, and you can still do it, which is pretty cool.
That's very true. That's very true. It's not too late. I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying that it's too late. It's never too late to choose what you want to do. Yeah.
But it is harder. I get what you mean.
It is harder. But yeah. That's a really good point. It actually sparked a little bit of like excitement in me. Like,
I don't think I've actually said that. Or you kind of inspired me to say that. So that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't think I've actually said that. But what I was going to say, I'm going to end it on this, is that I also, or you said you would do something different. I wouldn't do anything different. I am glad that I didn't keep going to school. I'm sure life would have been different. But I think for me personally, 100%, super glad that I didn't. Super glad that I chased music extremely hard, and then I figured out that I had to make more money, chased business extremely hard, and I think that led me to where I'm at now, and now I can do both simultaneously. See where it takes me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
No, I mean, I will just say that knowing you as a person, I think you would have regretted staying in school and finishing for what? Like, you know, like I think that you would just...
It was business. No, it was... No, it started English, and then it was business, and then it was communications, and there's another one.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that would have made school worth it.
Yeah.
I don't think that the time and money that you would have spent would have like surmount to what you have now and what you have today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably less, really.
Yeah.
If I'm so up and down, but on my good months, it would be less. But yeah.
Sorry. I just want to keep saying like, can we just quickly like mention how, because, okay, another reason why you made the right decision not to stay in school and then just pursue yourself, invest in yourself, is that you've started over and built your business how many times now? 3 times?
That's true. Yeah, this is the
3
third time.
times now.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so like I think that you now have that kind of...
I just know what to do.
Yeah. You know how to land on your feet. You know how to bounce back. You have... Oh, fuck. Did it die?
Battery exhausted. All right, the screen is now black because our battery died. That is our sign that we have to wrap up. Thank you guys so much. This is the No Niche Podcast. Should be episode 2. If it's me and Knocky Knock next time, then we're probably going to
see you next time.
Yeah, whenever. We just don't want to put the pressure, but we're going to talk about some of that stuff that we were just talking about some more soon. Y'all have a great day.
Yeah.
Catch you later. Anything else you want to say? This is audio only. You don't have to worry about how you look.
Okay.
Unbutton the pants.
Yeah, I felt like I was saying something good though. For a second.
You were onto something.
Yeah.
You were being sweet.
Yeah. Damn it.
Okay.
But yeah, no.
That's it.
I really enjoyed
Yeah,
this.
good.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got it set up and we made it happen. All right, this is No Niche, guys. We'll catch y'all next time.
Hey, yeah, wake up with a vision. Cooking in the kitchen, ain't no fucking in a mission. Like, yo, shaking up your city with my bitchin'. Sold in the building, and the motherfucker fizzing like, whoa. Cold won't stop till they get that gold.